We have all been there, right? Did I say the right thing in the job interview? Ugh, why is she not texting me back? Why did I have to do that all those years ago? I wish things could have played out differently. Overthinking is an issue that I struggled with for years. And it got really bad when I was in my early 20s, to the point in which I had high levels of anxiety. It felt like my mind was in hell. I couldn't sleep well, my physical health was affected. Thankfully, I became a far less anxious person thanks to some of the steps and practices that I am about to present to you in this video. I know how terrible overthinking or rumination can make your life. It can affect your relationships and second guess every decision, and I don't want anyone to struggle with that so much so that it is ruining your life. Each of these steps that I will tell you about are proven to make people's lives better. I can personally attest to that. I perform these 5 steps pretty much every day, and they are so easy to do. And now my mind has rewired to even do it subconsciously sometimes. Before we get into it, it is important for you to have an understanding about why you are overthinking in the first place. You have to have an understanding of yourself, of your mind, to be able to catch yourself while you're in the process of overthinking. So having that background information about how your mind works is very important. So why do we overthink? Why is it that our minds just don't seem to rest when it comes to certain situations or decisions? To understand this, we need to look at our evolution as humans. Overthinking, or as scientists call it, rumination, wasn't always a bad thing. It actually helped our ancestors. Picture this. Early humans had to be constantly aware of their environment to survive. They had to think deeply and analyze situations to avoid danger and figure out how to gather food, find shelter, or to protect their tribe. Their ability to anticipate future problems helped them survive, making our brains wired for problem solving. So pretty much, thinking a lot is common in humans because we have evolved to be analytical and deep thinkers to solve problems, and this helped humanity evolve into the society that we have today. The problem is that we stay wanting to fix certain problems that are just not fixable, like things that happened in the past. Or we could be worrying way too much about a future event that has not happened. So in modern society, the survival mechanism isn't as helpful when it's out of control. We no longer need to worry about being attacked by wild animals or facing life-threatening situations every day. But our brain doesn't always realize that. So we end up overanalyzing things that aren't life or death situations, like whether you said the right thing in a job interview or why someone hasn't responded to your text. This is when overthinking can turn from something helpful into something harmful. But don't worry, because the same brain that you have that can get trapped in overthinking can be retrained to focus on the present and let go of unnecessary worries. And that's where these steps come in. So let's dive into them. Practical steps that helped me and can help you stop the cycle of overthinking. Here's what you need to know for the first step. The end goal you're trying to achieve is to feel at peace, right? Like you solved the problem. You want to feel that satisfaction of having that thing off your chest or having that thing off your shoulders. You don't have to worry about it anymore. Now you can just sit back and relax. But when you are thinking about past events like, I shouldn't have said that, or I wish things could have played out differently, you're trying to fix something that is not fixable. The past. You're trying to go time travel back and stop yourself from doing these things, but it's not possible for you to do that. Your brain thinks it's like a situation in which you broke a glass table and then you can just fix that by buying a new glass table and making sure your kids never play brick Jenga on a table ever again. But there's not really any real action you can take to time travel back and stop yourself from doing something that you're ashamed of. So in these situations where you feel like you said the wrong thing to someone, or you feel like you shouldn't have made a bad pass that cost you the game, or in even bigger situations like you wish you could have studied for some career you are now interested in, you cannot go back in time to fix that. Some things you can fix in the present, but if you are spending your whole day in a state of worry, it's obviously not pleasant, and we would like to have our minds at ease. Same thing if you are overthinking about what would happen if you lost your job and are worried about finding another one, and then you are overthinking about being homeless. These are future events that have not happened and may not even happen. In this case, your brain is also trying to fix a problem as soon as possible. In both examples, you are fixated on either the past or the future and not on the present moment. So for the first step, you have to practice mindfulness. This means you have to allow yourself to be in the present moment and realize that the past and the future don't exist. The thing that you wish you didn't say or the thing you wish you didn't do, that doesn't exist anymore. It's not happening right now. You don't have to think about it. Dwelling on it will not solve your problems. And same thing with worrying about the future. That also doesn't exist. And you are just creating scenarios in your head. Don't you think it would be more peaceful if you allowed yourself to realize that all that exists right now is the present moment? In other words, you are entering a flow state that athletes go through when you are just focused on the presence. There are several things you can do to practice being more mindful and present. I will teach you one right now, and I will also put up a list of other techniques that you can look up on your own for being more mindful. So this exercise for practicing mindfulness is called the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding exercise. Here's how to do it. Look around and name 5 things that you can see. Listen and name 4 things that you can hear. Touch and name 3 things that you can feel, like the texture of your clothes or the chair that you're sitting on. Then identify 2 things that you can smell, and then acknowledge 1 thing that you can taste or something that you like to taste, like coffee or chocolate. This sensory exercise pulls you out of your thoughts and into the present moment, calming both your mind and body. It's particularly useful in moments of stress or anxiety-induced overthinking. Now I'm going to put up a list of other techniques that you can look up on your own that can also help you out a lot. By regularly practicing 1 or more of these techniques, you can train your mind to stay present and reduce overthinking or rumination. These methods are especially useful in managing stress, improving focus, and cultivating emotional balance. Let's now go over the second step. You are having all these negative thoughts, right? But are these thoughts even rational? Chances are you are lost in these thoughts, creating assumptions or future scenarios that may be making you feel afraid or ashamed. As I mentioned earlier, your mind is making all this up. So the second step is about you challenging negative thoughts. Challenging negative thoughts is a powerful way to improve your overthinking, and it's been scientifically shown to work. You're challenging these thoughts and replacing them with more rational thoughts. What you need to do is first recognize the negative thought, like, I'm not good enough, or I always fail. Stop and think to yourself, is that actually true? Do I actually always fail? Am I actually always not good enough? Maybe you failed in the situation that you're overthinking about, but that doesn't mean you always fail. Next, reframe the thought into something more balanced, such as, I've succeeded before, and failure is a part of learning. By challenging cognitive distortions like overgeneralizing or catastrophizing, you can replace them with rational thinking. Adding positive affirmations like, I am capable. This helps too. You can reframe it from, I may not be as good as I would like to be now, but I will get better at it. Or I am good in other areas, and if I became good in these other areas, I can become good in other areas. That's rational thinking rather than saying I'm not good enough. And it's especially harmful if you're going to be name calling yourself and calling yourself dumb or stupid for saying certain things or for doing certain things that you regret. That's not true for how you are overall, and you know it's not true. So this practice of challenging the negative thoughts comes from cognitive behavioral therapy, which research shows effectively reduces anxiety and depression. It works by retraining your brain to think more flexibly, making negative thoughts less powerful over time. So next time you catch yourself in a cycle of overthinking or self-doubt, remember to challenge that thought. It really can change your mindset. Let's now move on to number 3. Number 3 is about taking small actions. Overthinking usually happens because you're trying to solve a problem, right? But the irony is, overthinking rarely solves anything. In fact, it often makes things more confusing and can even lead to the wrong approach because you're so caught up in worry. For example, have you ever found yourself endlessly scrolling on Reddit or Google, trying to read about other people's experiences that are similar to yours, in order to try to figure out how to solve your own problems. Spending a few minutes researching can be helpful for gaining perspective or realizing that you're not alone, but when hours pass and you're still reading, that's when it becomes a problem. At that point, you're not solving anything. You're just stuck in a loop of inaction. Instead, it's important to channel that overthinking energy into taking small steps. If there's something you can do about the situation, then start there. Maybe you're overthinking an interview where you feel you said the wrong thing. Rather than spiraling, take small actions like making a mental note for future interviews. If you unintentionally hurt someone, the small action of apologizing can go a long way in putting your mind at ease. Another powerful tool is journaling. Writing out your thoughts helps you process emotions and find relief. Also, breaking bigger tasks into smaller, manageable steps can prevent you from feeling overwhelmed and help you focus better. Additionally, be mindful of your information intake. Limiting how much news or social media you consume can significantly reduce stress. By consistently taking these small actions, you create a positive feedback loop that helps calm your mind and reduce overthinking. Speaking of taking action, that leads us to number 4, which is about engaging in distracting activity. By constantly being active in different activities, your mind will be preoccupied being immersed in these activities, that your mind wandering off to something else that worries you will be reduced or may even completely go away without you even realizing it. For example, physical exercise is a powerful distraction. Whether it's a brisk walk, yoga, dancing, going to the gym, getting your body moving releases endorphins, boosting your mood, and reducing stress. Another great option is to explore creative outlets like painting, writing, or playing an instrument. These activities encourage a flow state, allowing you to immerse yourself in creativity and escape those annoying ruminative thoughts. Mindfulness and meditation also play a crucial role. By practicing mindfulness, you can focus on the present, breaking the cycle of negative thinking. Also, don't underestimate the power of reading books or watching movies. This allows your mind to transport into another world, giving you that sense of escapism, which provides you a much needed mental break. Lastly, consider socializing. Spending time with friends or family can provide support and distraction, helping you feel connected. Just make sure that when you're socializing, you're just not constantly talking about the things that you're overthinking about, because this can create a burden on the people you're socializing with. Talk about them, ask them questions, see what's going on with their life. That will also give you a mental break from your own problems, where you're just thinking about whatever is going on in someone else's life, whether it be something difficult or something exciting that's going on in their life. By socializing with other people, you may even feel like your worries were not even a big deal. Incorporating these activities into your routine can create positive distractions and help manage overthinking effectively. Lastly, for number 5, with overthinking, your focus is on that thing that's worrying you, right? So you need to make sure that you're shifting that focus onto some other thoughts. You can mentally just catch yourself as some overthinking thoughts come up and think about brushing it off to then bringing up more pleasant thoughts in your mind. The best way you can do this is to either think about something you are looking forward to or to think about something you are grateful for. Switching your focus helps disrupt the cycle of rumination by redirecting your attention to positive experiences or future possibilities. This technique is rooted in cognitive behavioral principles, which suggest that reframing our thoughts can lead to better emotional outcomes. I have firsthand experience doing this, and it definitely works for me. Not only that, but research has shown that focusing on gratitude can increase happiness and reduce feelings of anxiety and depression. Similarly, envisioning positive future events not only enhances mood, but can also motivate you to take proactive steps towards those goals. So when you catch yourself spiraling into overthinking, take a moment to shift your attention. Whether it's the excitement of a future vacation, a personal goal, or simply appreciating the little things in life, this shift can significantly lighten your mental burden and help you regain control. What I personally do is I've scheduled a certain time during my day. I personally scheduled it for 3 o'clock in the afternoon to think about 3 things that I am grateful for. So I'm just forced to think about 3 things I'm grateful for every single day of my life. But do not confuse this with toxic positivity. Toxic positivity has more to do with pretending like nothing bad is happening. I have a future video planned to discuss toxic positivity, but for now, I will say that you can still acknowledge the bad things in your life or in the world, which is important for then taking actions to fix it. But if you approach these problems with too much negativity, or if you are overthinking, then that will also not do you any favors in fixing your problems. You need to have a clear state of mind in order to most effectively solve these problems, and you cannot achieve that if you are overthinking or exaggerating your situation. So in other words, you are developing a better understanding of yourself, of your psychology, but it's also important to have a good understanding of what's beyond that and letting go of your personal ego. For more information on that, then you have to check out this video right here on why you need both spirituality and psychology. And you should also check out this video here to understand why you should embrace your dark side, embrace the shadow, so that you can have a better understanding of yourself and you can then stop committing the same problems over and over again in life. Thanks for watching.